So, there is no more shark attack at Army basic training. Pre-COVID, shark attacks look much like this.
Get down! Get down! Get down! Get up! Get up! You better get down! You better get down! Get down! Get down! You gotta come back! You are the Come on!
But now, Army basic training could look something similar to this.
Hi, Drill Sergeant. I'm reporting to basic training. Am I in the right location?
Yes, Jimmy, you are in the right location. Okay, Jimmy, welcome to Army Basic Training, where you can consider this your home away from home. So, Jimmy, how was your complimentary bus ride over here?
Yes, Drill Sergeant. The bus ride was great. Thank you for asking.
Well, that's great, because we are super excited that you're here now. So as previously described, this is an all-inclusive basic training site. So basically what that means is your beautiful Barracks Bay, your food and drinks are all included. And we threw in some complimentary uniforms and equipment to help you with your stay with us here at Army Basic Training. Okay, Jimmy, let me grab your bag here, and you can follow me to your luxurious 2,000 square foot Barracks Bay and get you all settled in, huh? So here, with Bravo Company 246, we hope that you have an exceptional experience. So once you've finished up and successfully graduate from Army Basic Training, we hope that you march right on over to Yelp and give us a 5-star rating, because that would be much appreciated. And in doing so, we will make sure that we get you a free complimentary ticket to AIT at no extra cost to you. Thank you for choosing the United States Army for all your life-changing needs. Super! Take care now. Bye-bye then.
Not quite like that. However, the U.S. Army just announced recently that it is, in fact, doing away with the Army shark attack at Army basic training and introducing a new, kinder approach. This change here is indicative to the fact that we are in a peacetime Army. So some good idea fairy with the United States Army has determined that we need to fix and change up how we treat and introduce or meet our trainees in the first 15 to 60 minutes of day one of their basic training experience. Like, it's more important to fix and change the first 15 minutes of one's experience on day one of Army basic training is more important than improving other existing programs that might be a little more impactful of a soldier's career. Because like the Sharpen EO program is just so perfect, right? No, because we need to worry about the little heart syndrome that some of these trainees may contract in the first few moments of their basic training experience. I mean, you might as well slap Air Force on our chest and just have us walk around with the Air Force motto, aim high. Like, seriously, Army? Actually, the Air Force still has their shock and awe. So props to the Air Force for still keeping it real. The shark attack has been around for decades and has become a tradition of what we experience and what we would like our sons and daughters to experience as well. So it's kind of like a badge of honor of something that you experienced and that is permanently ingrained into your mind that you just, no matter what you do, you won't be able to forget it. If proven to be successful, this new standardization will be pushed out to the rest of the field and implemented at every single basic training site. So let's get to the bottom of this, and it starts right now. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Sports, and if this is your first time here, welcome. Here on this channel, I post a ton of Army basic training, recruiting, and other Army-related videos. So if that's what you're into, consider subscribing to this channel, hitting that bell icon, and turning on all notifications so you don't miss anything. Hi, I'm Sergeant First Class Swartz, your local New York Army National Guard's full-time recruiter and part-time drill, with our Recruit Sustainment program here in New York City. With that being said, if you happen to be in New York and you want to know more about how the National Guard can help you reach your goals, you can start now by shooting me a text, put me a boot, to get started today. Whew, that's a mouthful. Here we go. All right, so let's start the debate now. Comment down below your thoughts and what you think about removing the current shark attack from Army basic training. Is it a good idea or a not so good idea? All right. So don't panic just yet and do not get all freaking judgmental and crap, okay? Just hear me out. Just just settle down, because I already get enough comments and see enough comments on other posts and stuff on how they feel that Army basic training is getting soft because of this whole coronavirus restrictions and stuff with social distancing, masks, and so on and so forth, and certain things being eliminated initially until we figured out certain things about certain things and put, control measures in place. So that being said, the Military Times here had posted an article about how the United States Army is removing the drill sergeant shark attack from 11 Bravo OSUT, or One Station Unit training from Fort Benning, Georgia, and replacing it with the all-new concept referred to as the first 100 yards. So initially, when I saw the Military Times article, the title in of itself prompted me to assume they were already talking about old news, meaning that since the coronavirus pandemic kicked off in March, the shark attack has been canceled until further notice due to the restrictions of, vapors and stuff when we yell back and forth, you know what I'm saying? So because of the Rona, it has been discontinued until further notice. So initially I was like, yep, check that off. Stupid article, old news, let me correct everybody. But after further investigation, I dived into it a little bit further and found out about the all new first 100 yards that is replacing the current shark attack, for now only at the infantry school at Fort Benning for their 11 Bravo OSUT. They essentially want to replace it with a more kinder approach. Now, if you haven't watched Angry Cops and his video about removing the shark attack from basic training, I highly suggest that you go watch it, because initially that's pretty much how I thought and felt about removing the shark attack from Army basic training. I'll post a link to his video down below so you can go watch it after you get done with this video. However, I did a deep dive and researched more into this topic, and I formulated my own opinion, which I will share later in this video. Now, I let this marinate for a week. I actually recorded this video twice, so this is actually the third video that I've recorded on this particular topic, because as I dove more into it and spoke to other drill sergeants and so on and so forth, I opened up my mind, and people make sense. And I'm gonna go through some of that right now, but let me explain to you about the shark attack and the new concept of the first 100 yards before I share my opinion. So I was eventually directed to the official announcement from the United States Army from Command Sergeant Major Fortenberry with the U.S. Army Infantry School at Fort Benning. And in it, he introduced the first 100 yards and his reasoning, or their reasoning, for removing the current shark attack. I will post both the links for the article from the Military Times and the first 100 yards video so you could watch it on your own time and formulate your own opinion. He essentially announced that it was in their best interest to remove the shark attack because it was outdated and times have simply changed. So in so many words, without directly saying it, Command Sergeant Major Fortenberry basically is stating that the shark attack is a form of hazing. He feels that the shark attack is unprofessional and violates the trust among teammates and their leadership. Not quite sure how that takes place, but that's his opinion. However, let me give you a backstory about the shark attack, okay? It was created back in the early parts, or the early days of the draft era, where it was an undocumented block of instruction that generally lasted no more than 15 to 60 minutes on average, and it varied from site to site. I mean, it wasn't a standardized thing. It was an unofficial thing that just happened, and it was never part of the official POI or official training. It was just an event that was unofficially created to establish dominance and authority by leveraging fear and intimidation. At least for the first few hours, maybe a few days, depending on the basic training site. Again, it was nothing that was standardized across the board. It was designed to help weed out and to identify the weak of hearts, as he liked to put it in the video. It essentially created a chaotic, but in a controlled environment by applying physical exertion in a highly stressful environment, much like combat. It involved bag drills by holding your duffel bags over your head for a period of time. You had to do lots of push-ups through the form of corrective training and picking up your equipment and running or double timing from one location to another. And lots of corrective training for not meeting your task to standard or meeting a specific time hack that the drill sergeants asked you to do. It was a way for drill sergeants to assess their trainees and how they can experience high levels of stress. And when it singles out the weak, it's going to prompt multiple drill sergeants to surround that individual trainee to give them that much needed attention, kind of like sharks surrounding their prey, hence the name Shark Attack. This event was designed to motivate you and to establish control, and to help others around you to not make the same mistakes as you, which is the primary reason why we yell when we're making an on-the-spot correction. So if you find yourself in a similar situation, you're listening to them, oh my God, I hope I don't make the same mistake as them, and you fix yourself so that you don't have to worry about getting that unnecessary attention and to feel uncomfortable, much like they are. Honestly, there is a ton of unpurposeful yelling during this block of instruction. A lot of it, in my opinion, is completely unnecessary. The Shark Attack has for years brought some men and women to tears and to the point on occasion to relieve themselves on themselves. I'm not gonna mention any names. Skelly. Sorry, I just had to clear my throat. The first 100 yards is actually broken down into 5 phases. And again, you can check out the link down below in the description area and watch it for yourself. But I'm gonna give you a brief overview of what you would expect for the first 100 yards. The first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna receive some questions that they're going to quiz you on once you get to day 1 of Army Basic Training. So you'll receive these questions a few days prior to getting to Army Basic Training while you're at the reception battalion. Upon getting to the actual basic training site, when you actually meet your drill sergeants, they're gonna divide you up into platoons or your teams. And from there, the first thing that you're gonna do is a resupply mission where you're gonna transport water jugs and MRE cases from one location to the next. From there, you're gonna knock out as a team 3 out of the 6 events of the Army Combat Fitness Test, which consists of the hand release push-up, the leg tuck, and the standing power throw. And you wanna knock out as many repetitions as you can for a cumulative count of your repetitions, because the more repetitions that you knock out, the higher your score is, and you're gonna wanna complete everything in a timely fashion. Simultaneously, while you're conducting parts of the ACFT test, you're gonna be getting asked those questions that you received while you were at the reception battalion. And any question that you get wrong, you will receive corrective training with the appropriate exercise. And in conclusion, all of your points for each platoon or team are gonna be tallied up, and the teams that do not meet the time hack, or basically hit number 1 for the time hack, are gonna receive corrective training with the appropriate exercise. At least that's what Command Sergeant Major Fortenberry is sharing with us. Upon successfully completing that, at this point you will be introduced to your drill sergeants, your cadre, and your leadership at your company. And you will then receive a demonstration of infantry soldiers showing you the equipment and tactics that you will learn throughout your experience at OSUT, or your 1-station unit training as an infantryman. From there, you will locate your luggage, or your bags rather, and you will march to your barracks bay, and you will commence your red cycle training along with in-processing for the next few days before you start your yellow phase, and that is when your OSUT training will officially begin. And if you don't know what yellow phase is, it's controlled monitoring, and I'll put a card right up here for you to go check it out. That is still valid to this day, and we're September 31st of 2020. And all throughout the first 100 yards, the drill sergeants are, yes, giving you blocks of instruction and yelling, but not in the same fashion or form as the Shark Attack, where there's a lot of unpurposeful yelling. And obviously, what the Command Sergeant Major is suggesting is that the drill sergeants during the first 100 yards are going to be yelling, but with more respect and dignity, if that makes sense. Essentially, basically using the word professional, because we don't want to hurt any more feelings. All right, so now that I've explained the Shark Attack and the first 100 yards, let's get down to my personal opinion on how I feel about the Shark Attack and the first 100 yards concept that Command Sergeant Major Fortenberry introduced. So whether you feel that the Shark Attack is the better option, or if you feel that the first 100 yards is a better option, because many of you have already been commenting that the Shark Attack is what makes a soldier tougher and meaner and leaner and a better soldier, and now hearing about these first 100 yards and drill sergeants not being as mean, right, kind of coddling you a little bit, is going to make a soldier weaker in a sense, and not as effective as the Shark Attack. And after further evaluating and letting it marinate for a week or so, I've come to the conclusion that I do like both concepts, but hear me out first, okay? Hear me out and do not panic. To be honest, I like both for various reasons, if utilized properly. And if they could somehow standardize the shark attack and create a SOP like they did with the first 100 yards and put it across the board for every basic training site, I think we could benefit from both methods. So I posted something in my community tab here on YouTube asking you what your thoughts were about removing the shark attack Army basic training. And one of my subscribers, James Phillips, said it perfectly. He goes on to say that a lot of people think that by removing the shark attack is going to make all of our incoming soldiers weak, and he disagrees with that. Going through the shark attack doesn't make you tougher. It's essentially an unforgettable experience. And I agree with him. Going through the shark attack is like less than 1% of your total basic training experience, and in of itself is not going to make you a tougher soldier just by experiencing the shark attack. I briefly spoke to Drill Sergeant Mikhail Simmons. He's got a YouTube channel and a Instagram. Awesome guy. Go check out his videos. And he added his 2 cents to this whole first 100 yards concept. Now, initially, I didn't think of it this way, but he makes a lot of sense too. He basically says that the first 100 yards protocol works well with this generation of soldiers that are now going through Army basic training. He says that it builds teamwork early on, and he's noticed how selfish and unwilling to work together this generation is opposed to when he joined. He also stated that what worked well for us back in the day may not work well for those joining now. And I agree with him. I think there is some validity in that statement. So like my generation, when I enlisted in 2001, we were less selfish, more willing to work together and to fall in line faster. Today's millennials and Generation X soldiers love to ask and question everything. They are selfish. They want everything handed to them, and they are lazy. They lack self-discipline, respect, and they have this minimalist mentality in everything that they do. They are a whole different breed, and they react and respond differently. Drill Sergeant Boston with the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy. I love that. That never gets old. He added his opinion, and he states he feels that the shark attack is more effective because it brought us together sooner because we had to embrace the suck in 0.025 seconds once the shark attack initiated or started. With this new concept of having a kinder basic training start, as the Military Times reports, may prove to be a huge challenge for drill sergeants to establish that dominance, control, and respect initially up front versus utilizing the shark attack that shocks people into that and to fall in faster. Yes, the shark attack is abrasive and not for everyone. So in my opinion, I do feel that the shark attack, if used properly, will get people to fall in line faster versus this new approach. The first 100 yards protocol is a kinder approach and will give exactly what Command Sergeant Major Fortenberry wants, which is to give them that professional and respectful introductory to the infantry with respect and dignity. It will cultivate a teamwork mentality up front in a professional way and begin their basic training experience in a positive manner. I get it. Nobody likes change, but it's inevitable. Things are always going to change, and we need to change with the times. People are raised differently, especially compared to like when I enlisted back in 2001 and so on. So props to the Army for adapting, adjusting, and trying to, move in a better direction and to adapt to the type of trainees in this generation that are joining the military. So the first 100 yards may just be very well that change that we need to be able to adjust to the times that we're in and the generation that is coming into the military now. I don't feel that this protocol in of itself is the end all be all or the perfect concept or protocol, because this won't work for everyone either, and you're not gonna help everyone or satisfy everyone. Bill Cosby, probably not the optimal person to bring up in this particular video, but Bill Cosby once said that he didn't know the key to success was, but the key to failure is to please everyone. So we might not agree with the first 100 yards, but it may be that positive step that we need to create better soldiers. We may not understand it. We might be resistant to the change because nobody likes change, but it may be what's needed. Like I said, I like parts of the shark attack because it helps weed out the weak and so on and so forth. It establishes who's in charge up front, demands respect, and breaks down trainees individually. This will prime drill sergeants to build them up as a team player, to shape, mold, and coach them into better versions of themselves. It also helps drill sergeants instill self-discipline and motivation, initially utilizing fear and then respect, which is established later on in the cycle. It's effective at delivering an understanding of what real stress is like and the importance of attention to detail, to lean onto each other for support, and to work as a team player. Much like sports, if you work together as a team, you increase the chances of winning the game. However, if you do not work together as a team or are not a team player in combat, you may come home in a body bag. And I feel that because we embraced the suck and weathered the storm together, it forced us to build a stronger bond sooner versus this new concept. The shark attack, I feel, tests someone's heart and willpower. It proves to them what they're really made of. Some people actually find the shark attack to be quite comical, and I can see why they say that too, because it's just a bunch of random yelling for no reason. Like, I don't know why we get so nervous in a situation like that, but it just happens. Whereas I feel that the first 100 yards will fail to establish these things as fast or as quickly as the shark attack. Yes, I agree, you should not lead with fear, but basic training is a whole different animal. It is kind of like a hazing event to a point, but we come to an understanding of the process and we appreciate that process later on. The problem with the shark attack, which probably more than likely prompted the change to the first 100 yards, is the toxic drill sergeants that push the envelope. They push it just a little too far. You know who you are. You've seen some stuff too. Those toxic drill sergeants push the boundaries to the point where they shouldn't be pushed. And because of those toxic drill sergeants is what makes the shark attack ineffective and not cost effective for the government as well, because it causes people to want to quit Army basic training. I actually had a recruit quit because he didn't like the drill sergeant screaming and hooting and hollering at him, and he quit a few weeks after basic training. Each trainee costs the government $75,000 to $150,000 to train you from day zero through AIT graduation and moving you on to your unit of assignment, whether you pass or fail. Toxic drill sergeants or drill sergeants that push it a little too far often are, in my opinion, the reason why we have so many trainees who want to quit or fall out of Army basic training and failing to adapt to a training environment and being integrated into the military, which does cause, in my opinion, the majority of the training pipeline losses outside of injuries. But that's a whole nother topic idea for another day, because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because, whew. So maybe with this new first 100 yards, having a kinder basic training start to your basic training experience may, in my opinion, increase the retention and graduation rates for those trainees, thus creating a larger force and alleviating some of that stress on recruiters to closing up that back door, if that makes sense. And in my opinion, what this will do also inadvertently is have people in our ranks that shouldn't be here. Because if they can't handle the stress for 15 minutes of their basic training introduction to the United States Army basic training, how can we, in any other time in their career outside of a basic training environment, induce a high level of stress in this manner? So now they're gonna go move on to the units of assignment, and if they end up going to combat and they find out then that they can't handle stress, that's another argument. That's another bullet for discussion. I mean, how would we really know how they're going to react and handle the stress of combat? The shark attack, I feel, is more of an individual event, whereas the first 100 yards is more of a teamwork concept, which I like a lot. So what do I like about the first 100 yards? Boy, am I glad you asked. I like the whole teamwork concept, working together and to intertwine the individual effort for the collective. Having a friendly competition by giving them all those tasks with the first 100 yards will foster camaraderie and rapport amongst the trainees. They're still receiving corrective training regardless. And it sounds to me it's just like a normal shark attack with purposeful yelling. None of that unpurposeful, unnecessary, over-the-top yelling for no reason. I don't really know how the first 100 yards would be motivating or how it would help establish dominance and control up front. If they could make changes to the current shark attack and standardize it across the board, implementing rules and create an actual SOP to add it to the POI, possibly make it less aggressive and add the first 100 yards in the mix somehow, it would be a good mix and the trainees could benefit from both. Love it or hate it, it is here to stay, it is not going anywhere, and we will make it happen. Neither one, whether it's the shark attack or the first 100 yards, will make you tougher or weaker. It is just us, the United States Army, adapting, adjusting, and overcoming, creating a better environment and a different method to make our organization better. We are adjusting with the times. And again, I'm really curious to see where it goes. I'm excited for it. I support it 100%. I don't know how you feel about it. I just shared with you my thoughts on it. Let me know down in the comment section what you feel, whether you like it, you hate it, why behind it, write down the why. And if you made it this far in the video, put a hashtag Team Swartz. Let me know you are my ride or die real MVP. And if I don't see you in the comment section down below, I'll see you in the next video. All right, good chat. Bye. Hold up. Wait a minute, like this video and follow me on social, and while you're at it, go ahead and check out one of my other videos right over here. Just pick one. They're pretty cool. I mean, I liked it. I mean, I was in it. Spoiler alert. I teach you something. Just saying.